Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another episode of RK Football Talk. And I don't like to
Say it.
say this.
Say it. You gotta
No,
say it.
no. Liverpool are Premier League champions for the 24-25 season, and it is the 20th time in the top flight history that they've achieved a feat, matching Manchester United's record. And I'm pretty sure there is someone here today who's going to be very pleased about that, and someone who I don't know how he might feel about it. We've got Stuart and Dave this week.
Hi, hi.
Hey guys.
So,
Congratulations, Stuart.
Yeah. I have to admit, obviously, it's been. I guess a lot of people have been saying for a while it's happening. I mean, I've tried to avoid it for a while, trying to say it till it actually happened. But yeah,
I
I'm
got it
glad.
out of you on one episode. I did
Yes,
get
you
it
did.
out of you. I remember this.
Yeah, you
I...
did. I mean, normally I didn't curse anything because obviously it happened. So luckily, it's a good thing in that sense. But yeah, I I have to admit with that when Tottenham scored like in the first couple of minutes, I was like, this is such a Liverpool thing. We need to get the job done. And then like topped them. But then I like 2 seconds later I realised, wait a minute, this is Tottenham. So I was like, we'll be fine. And obviously it ended 5-1. So that's pretty
Even when they
confident.
scored, when Tottenham scored, there was no sense in my mind that Liverpool were going to lose the game. Like you said, it being Tottenham, there's no chance. My prediction before the game was 5-0. Them getting the goal obviously was pretty close.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I should have put. Well, I'm glad I didn't. But yeah, there was no doubt in my mind that Liverpool were going to come back and just absolutely hammer them, regardless of the fact that they got the first goal. But yeah, it was a great performance.
the one thing that someone did point out to me this season, though, and this probably won't be one of Liverpool's strongest points, especially under Arne Slot, is that
Mm.
this season they've played in a way that is two different halves. So they've played one way in the first half, and in the second half they've played another way. So they could have played rubbish in the first half against Spurs, but the second half they'll be blockbuster,
hmm
and it'll be like a complete different side. And they it's they've done it quite a lot this season, and but in a very professional way that's still got them the result they need.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more of a. It's always been a kind of joke of Liverpool fan base was a situation of basically like it's like the first half he sees how the opposition are playing, and then the second half he makes the tweaks, and then we go on and win. So it's
Yeah,
kind of it's kind of thing for the first couple like what 15 games or so. It's just like first half not great, second half. That's when we usually put on our performances. But yeah, I mean, it's been a weird season because obviously it's like he's done little tweaks. So it's not like you see bits of Klopp in there. You see obviously it's a bit more focused, more in midfield, like in a sense of creativity coming from there than anything else. Mo Salah's been allowed to he doesn't have to defend, so he can just kind of stay there and just wait for the ball to come his way. But
yeah.
yeah, it's kind of obviously a lot of people should give Slot a lot of credit. I mean, obviously start the season. I mean, even myself, after me, I was thinking third. There's some crazy people saying fifth. I think, you know, was it? I remember seeing Gary Neville's one where he said their Man United finish above them, like they finished
Yeah,
third.
yeah.
So yeah, as much as I can sit there and say, oh, I totally predicted it, no one did. Like it
No,
was either City or Arsenal, and
yeah, I think so.
it's crazy.
The,
Just it being with a new manager and everything, a lot of people predicted this kind of transition period, especially with someone like Klopp leaving the club. I'm seeing a lot of fans online, very spiteful fans of other clubs, kind of calling Liverpool out and saying, "Oh, it's not an impressive league victory because everyone else has been subpar and stuff," which I just don't buy that for a second.
they do it
Uh,
every time Liverpool
I know,
do
Oh yeah,
well.
the
yeah,
league's mysteriously rubbish now just because we've
yeah,
won it. But then the 4 years that Man City kept winning it, oh, it's
yeah,
the best league ever. It's like
yeah.
I see where they're going with this, but yeah, I mean, what it's just been as I said, I saw a record. I think it was like first 17 we got like was it first 17 games it was like 40 odd points. Then the last 17 it was 40 or something like that. And
yeah.
it's just consistency. We can't do much when we're the only team because kind of consistently getting the results where other teams fail around us. It's not much we could do about that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's and no offense when you got Arsenal chasing us. I mean,
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's just ridiculous. Like, it seems like according to other fans, certain fans, Liverpool just aren't allowed to have a legitimate league victory. The 2020, oh, that was COVID, that didn't count. And then this year, oh, Man City fell away, Arsenal were subpar. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, the league's terrible. Like it's just like it's just
I do think that in some ways, like it can be argued that the quality this season has not been as good in some quarters. So, for example, a team like Nottingham Forest, say they have been fantastic, but they've certainly capitalised on Man City's drop off, Chelsea's drop off in the season, and like Man United and Spurs. Like, so it can be argued that yes, in some quarters it has. However, Liverpool have been like the gap between second and first has been huge for quite some time. Liverpool, nothing to do with what the rest of the league has been like.
No, not at all.
Nothing
The
at
quality,
all.
yeah, the quality question. I rather than there being a lack of quality this season, I think of it more so as a kind of the quality is more spread out. So you mentioned teams like Nottingham Forest, Newcastle, Aston Villa, even teams like Fulham and Palace as well, who are all having exceptional seasons, for them. The quality has just been, it feels like it's just been more spread out. It's rather than being, the top four teams kind of get, hoovering up all the points. There's been more teams up and down the table that have been doing extremely well.
Yeah, no, I agree. The one thing I did want to actually go over a little bit here was obviously Liverpool have now won the title. It's now official. Do we think that this Liverpool side is better than the side that won in 2020 under Jurgen Klopp?
I don't know. I'll let Stuart go first. Sorry.
I've made a note of the starting 11s, so we can go through it.
Yes.
Like
yes.
player by player if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
sounds like a good idea.
Try, yeah. Obviously, Alisson was in goal. Alisson's in goal. So he's obviously going to be the keeper. So that's all done and dusted. Now, the question I've got, though, is when you go over to the next position, obviously you get your centre backs. You got Van Dijk, and obviously you got the Van Dijk today. Which Van Dijk would you take? The one that it was.
I don't think there's much that separates them. Maybe I would take this Van Dijk, this most recent one, just the extra years, a bit wiser, but there's not a lot between them, I don't think.
I personally go for the 2021 because it weren't too long before that he was nominated for the Ballon d'Or as well.
Yeah,
so
I remember that.
Still one of the best players in the league at that point. And he is now, don't get me wrong, and he has been probably the best defender this season. I lean more towards the 2020 version though. I do. What about you, Stu?
I mean, it's like choosing I don't know. I mean, I probably just
It's
because
like
of
Van Dijk or Van Dijk.
Yeah, it's like what version? Either way, it's a win, isn't it? So happy days.
Yeah,
isn't
exactly.
It? I don't know. I think I have to go with you. I guess 2021 because obviously he was like peak of the powers, and obviously said we're still kind of pissed about that with the Ballon d'Or. Probably should have won it that year, but
Who won it that year?
Messi.
Was it Messi?
Personally, I think when you get players like Messi and Ronaldo, you can't argue.
I mean, you can.
Once in a lifetime players. Wesley Sneijder. That's the only one I will argue with, but we're not getting into that.
Yeah, but
Liverpool have something to say about it.
But yeah, I think it was just more because obviously with Van Dijk, obviously this was a year before he had that nasty tackle by Pickford that took him out for nearly 18 months.
Yeah.
So he was still at the peak of his powers then, and obviously now it's just around about probably last season, when about now this season we say it's he's got back to his kind of Van Dijk best.
Brilliant best.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, just because they're both versions are great. Like if you want to go experience, but yeah, I would say 2020, but it's very close, very close.
Yeah.
I think there's an argument for both. So but it's the same player like we're talking about.
It's the exact same player. He didn't even change his hairstyle or anything. They're literally just the same. There's nothing to split them. I wonder which season did he get more goals? Has he scored many goals this season? Don't think so.
Oh,
probably more
important. Get many in the 2020 season?
I want to know now. I don't
know. I mean, you can sit there and say maybe this season he's got more crucial goals because obviously goal against West Ham. Probably was but then obviously, if you go by goals, then maybe you would sit there and say this season's Van Dijk. Maybe I think he's got one or two I can remember. 2020, I'm not sure because obviously back then it was all the front three, so they were getting all the goals and
Yeah, that in regards to the comparing, we're comparing both Liverpool teams, right? Who I know we're still on centre backs, but who would you say is the this current Liverpool team's front line? Because it's constantly been chopped and changed. Who do you?
We
Because 2020 is
well
obviously you've got Salah, Mane, and Firmino.
well
Um,
the ones with the most appearances. So this is the starting 11 for
Gakpo,
both teams. So
yeah,
the 2025 team is Alisson, Van Dijk, um, Kanate, Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Gravenberg,
Gravenberch, yeah.
Luis Diaz, Salah, Gakpo. That is your
Salah, Diaz, Gakpo. That's not a
that is
half bad front line.
and then for 2020, Alisson, Van Dijk, Trent, Robertson, Joe Gomez, Wijnaldum, Henderson, Firmino, Salah, and Mane.
Mm.
So
So
good.
trust me, this is
I
I don't think
yeah.
this is easy. Some of this, I don't. This
Well,
is
I
going to
think
cause some
you would need
stir.
to take parts from. I don't think one team. I think you would need to take parts. So I would take obviously the 2020 front line because it was one of the best front lines in Europe.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
It was amazing. I know this front line is right. Diaz is really good and really reliable. Gakpo's had an amazing season, but they don't have not a shadow on that front line from 2020. I don't think
yeah. Okay.
fewer goals as well.
What about your other centre back though? So you've got either Joe Gomez or
I take
Kanate.
Kanate. I go Kanate.
Yeah, I do.
I don't
A
disagree with that one.
beast. He's a beast. Honestly, I think it's the best centre back partnership I've seen since I would go
Terry
Gary
Cahill.
Cahill and John Terry.
Oh right, I guessed it.
Is that you?
Yeah, it's the it's in Terry Cahill. Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
No, not a bad shout.
honestly, like they're such a unit, and I do rate Joel Matip and I do like Joe Gomez, but Kanate is just an animal at the
Yeah,
back as well. So yeah,
Yeah, I see him being like obviously when Van Dijk goes in. Was it obviously 2 years when obviously his contract's up again? I always see him being like our top, like who's gonna be next to him in that defensive front line. Then because obviously he's been kind of groomed to be that kind of replacement. But
yeah,
but yeah, yeah, Kanate. Nothing against Joe Gomez. It was just that was probably like there's always been a bit of question mark about Joe Gomez in the Liverpool fan
yeah.
base because of injury requests. He's injured a lot, and obviously Kanate obviously been injured for like that month this season, but his record's still pretty good. So, but yeah, Kanate was that first couple of months in the season. He was
unstoppable.
it's amazing. That no one's getting past that back line. It was great. Loved it.
Okay, then you move on to you got Robertson of that season 2020 or the Robertson this season. It's got to be the Robertson from 2020.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
The one from this season, as good as Liverpool have been, he's not been good.
he's had a bit of a couple of mistakes in him.
Yeah,
I think I saw one. I can't remember what game it was. He gave away a penalty and he gave away a couple of silly fouls at times. Yeah, but obviously he's playing different situation now because obviously back then it was the attacking, width of the kind of him and Trent. But obviously now Robertson's kind of not doing. He's basically kind of playing like a normal defender, sort of. Kind of he's going on that line, but he's not doing it as much. So I don't know, but yeah, definitely 2021. 2021 because obviously, I mean, I can't remember what assists they both got that season. Because obviously that was the thing.
I know they got double figures. They both got double figures. I'm sure of it. Because I remember seeing some stat that they did. I'm sure they did because they both got the most assists that season. Or it was De Bruyne. De Bruyne, I think got.
I think so. I mean, unless I'm thinking of the season before that, obviously when they. Well, if it wasn't for that magnificent City side, probably would have won one or two more Premier League titles. But not bitter. But
no.
But yeah, I'd take Robertson from 2020 because he's just older now, and I mean I think the fullback position shows your age more than any other position on the pitch. So I mean, if you're kind of 4 or 5 years down the line, 3-4 years down the line, he's not going to be as good as he.
I think that's a fair point to make, actually. Yeah, because you've got to bomb it up and down, haven't you?
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's the modern fullback, isn't it? So
exactly. Yeah. And then you've got the Trent of old and the Trent of new, who's going to Real Madrid. Sorry.
Is that hasn't been? I know we're going off
It's not
tangent
been
again, but
confirmed, has it?
it's not been confirmed yet. And I was watching them celebrating in front of the cop yesterday, and I can't remember. One of the commentators or one of the pundits said, "Oh, how can you leave this, or how can you leave this, whatever?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, that hasn't been. He hasn't confirmed that yet. I wonder if he
Actually,
will maybe do a massive
it's
180."
it's all
and say
speculation, to be fair, when you think about
Yeah.
it, because no, he hasn't said anything. No clubs have said it. It's just come from a reliable reporter that normally has good sources.
Hmm.
But would you want to go to Real Madrid right now?
Yeah.
I mean, was
would.
it
I mean,
the managers? The managers rumored to leave? They had
Dylan
that whole
McFarlane, yeah.
debacle of that Copa del Rey final where they basically done a hit piece on the ref and then just refused to play the game, but they lost. So that's great news. Would you go there?
I don't know. I mean,
I-
that's this season. He's not going to be going this season. And Madrid are always a bit of a basket case club. Anyway.
This season it feels like they've gone way off the handle a little bit though.
I think that I would, like, without a shadow of a doubt, even if I play for the club I support, like Chelsea, if I played for them and Real Madrid come calling,
you're
like
off.
it's Real Madrid.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't say no and all of this sort of stuff. And I think a lot of people would probably be in the same situation. That's why when it all came out that Trent was going to be going there, a part of me was like, well, can you blame him? He's won everything. He's done everything.
Yeah. Like that's what we spoke about this in a previous episode where we just could not understand the anger and the vitriol from certain fans about him wanting to go to Real Madrid.
One of them being Stu.
Yeah, it's a hatred of Real Madrid. We despise them. So it's like the idea of him going there, but I don't know. I mean, to be fair, as I said, he hasn't confirmed anything, and obviously he's been a bit.
Yeah, strange. I don't know why he hasn't. I don't know if he's wobbling on the decision or they're just waiting for the season to end, so there's not that kind of
that makes more sense.
ill will towards him by the fans for the remaining games or something. I don't know. They probably are just waiting to the end of the season.
We're trying to figure out that celebration at Leicester. Like, what was that? What's the signals there when he took his shirt off and put it in the corner flag? It's like, is that he's leaving or he's staying? Like, what's the? It's like trying to find the signals, but yeah, I don't know.
I think that's him basically saying I'm off. He's given it one last big and then he's like, see us.
Yeah. The thing that made me laugh about that celebration, someone got a picture and there's a slight that we're talking a millimeter of overhang of skin over his shorts, and someone's going, "Look, he's peeling the way."
Oh yeah, he's on the muffins. It's like Jesus.
ignore the pack, like right above it.
Honestly, he's ludicrous, man.
Yeah, so we saying old Trent or new Trent for this?
I don't know. Because he's had some dodgy performances this season, I'd probably opt for 2020 Trent.
Yeah, I'd go with 2020.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously, but the kind of quality of the balls he's doing in 2020, obviously the assists is just it's unreal in that season.
Yeah. He had a bit more freedom as well. He suited Klopp's style more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like the way he played under Klopp was devastating. So that's why I would choose him. So then we move on to the midfield. This for me is a bit hard.
Yeah, it is. Because they're neither of them are stellar midfields, are they?
Well, you say this. So we'll start with the first one.
Individuals, but
Szoboszlai or Ronaldo? It's the tricky one because Szoboszlai's been fantastic this year.
He has, yeah. I'd probably go Wijnaldum. He's got a goal in him as well. Or he did have.
True,
That's okay. But then I never rated either. I mean, I know Szoboszlai's had a good season, but he's not the very best, is he?
Not yet. Anyway,
I disagree. I think that if you're talking about like when he first came to Liverpool and he was playing under Klopp, I'll be honest, he didn't look like a particularly brilliant player, and I actually thought, well, what a waste of money this guy is. But this season, Slot seems to have found a way to play him, which is not only just getting the best out of him, but it's getting the best out of Salah.
Yeah, true.
Well, because he's being allowed to have that freedom with how the structure of the midfield's been.
Well, it's he's playing the number 10, isn't it? Like, obviously they've put a bit more like emphasis on like not a 4-3-3 and a 4-2, kind of 3-1, or that kind of where different position, so it's like kind of suits him more, I guess. Then obviously with Klopp, it was kind of more that set midfield three. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, but he's got potential. Obviously, he has had his moments. He's a bit more. His kind of work rate's been outstanding this season. So obviously, like, to be fair, but it's obviously he's too. It's not like the first season he was there. He was sitting there scoring. He was basically known for those weldy outside the box type shots. I've seen he's a bit more resistant this season. Every time he has a chance outside the box, he goes, "No, I'll pass it." It's like, nah, maybe I'm an old school guy, but I just wish he have a little pop outside the box. But
the moment you enter that, go past the halfway line, shoot!
You always have that guy that does that in every football match. It's like, have a shot, like even if it's like halfway.
Charlie Adam from 80 yards against Chelsea. Do you remember that one?
Oh crap! Yeah,
Charlie Adams. Oh, that's a repressed memory.
Has a pop. Oh, brilliant. That's the ultimate. Oh, go on, have a pop goal. But anyway, but yeah, no, it's difficult to disagree with everything you said about Szoboszlai there, Matt. But and he does suit this system very well, and he has had a good season, and he does complement Salah. But I still think, as an individual player, Slot could possibly do more and get a higher quality, higher caliber player in his position in the summer.
I can't. It's one of those. It's one of the positions in this team that if someone went Wijnaldum, I'm not going to argue with it. But if it's someone Szoboszlai, I agree with that. But like, both ones are balanced. It's really balanced. What one you went for, Stu? I didn't.
I think just because of what he was for that 2020, I'll go Wijnaldum. Just because, I think obviously with Szoboszlai, it's just he's got. It's like, has he hit his ceiling yet? Because obviously there's still things he needs to work on. Where was it? Was it the title winning side? It was just like he was peaking his powers. Wijnaldum, like he was just. Absolutely. Okay. I mean, we kind of devastated that we didn't, tie him up for another contract, because obviously after he left, didn't exactly go well for him, did it? Really, was it PSG? No. And then but yeah, I mean, but there was kind of you could say 19. Obviously, the Champions League winning, it was his peak. Could obviously pass that Barcelona, helping with that Barcelona comeback. But yeah, I would say if I had to choose between,
it'd be Wijnaldum. All right, well, so 2 for Wijnaldum, 1 for Szoboszlai. Well, it looks like we're going Wijnaldum then. I mean, you're both wrong.
Sounds like 2-1, mate.
Yeah.
Sounds like the other one is wrong, buddy.
Now, this one, I think, is the hardest out of the lot. McAllister.
Or Henderson?
Or Henderson. Henderson won Player of the Year that season.
Yeah, and he was a really good captain and a good leader.
Yeah.
But McAllister is a better player, and he has a goal.
Exactly. Or you've got McAllister, who... Last season was okay. This season he's been brilliant. Like, yes, exactly. Like,
for leadership and captaincy ness or whatever, I can't think of the word. I definitely take Jordan Henderson, but for quality, just pure football quality, I'd take McAllister, and goals as well. I don't know. I can't decide.
It's a hard one, isn't it?
But, if I've got Van Dijk in my team already, he'll be cat. So no, I'll take McAllister over Henderson.
I love it. It's a hard one. Oh, I've got Van Dijk. We're fine.
Yeah.
He's captain. Fine.
So already got a captain on the field. Yeah.
I'm going to agree with David here. I'm going to go McAllister. So it's just Stu.
It's tough, right? Because obviously. The problem with Henderson, it was a situation of it kind of worked in that Klopp side, because basically all the creativity came on the said wings. So it's like that midfield was just a workhorse midfield where basically like stops everything from happening. Yeah. But then McAllister, it's like creativity. Obviously that amazing goal he scored against Tottenham. I mean, we all forget that near the end of last season he was kind of having a bit of a good reign of form as well. Around about this time last season, if I remember correctly. So. It depends who you want. Obviously, if you want someone that could just you can't get past him, get the job done, like kind of play the dirty side of football, go get the jobs you don't want to do, then Henderson. But we love those players that are just so creatively good, and so McAllister. I mean, yeah, and obviously he's won a World Cup, so got to pick between, right?
No, it looks like we're going for McAllister, but that's not to put a mar on a fantastic season Henderson had. He was brilliant that year, and like you said there, David, captain wise, he was flawless that year.
Longevity as well. I think 3rd highest appearance makers in the Premier League for Liverpool.
Blimey, wow. 3rd. Flipping it.
Yeah,
no, I didn't know that it was that much. My God, I'm guessing Jamie Carragher and Steven Gerrard.
Carragher and it must be
Oh,
Ian Rush,
Gerrard.
maybe.
Yeah.
Who?
It's got to be
Who's
Gerrard,
Ian-
surely.
It's got to be, isn't it?
Oh, Premier League, of course. Yeah. Gerrard, Carragher.
Yeah.
Then I think Henderson's third with like 360.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
Okay.
It'd be interesting to see what Mo Salah's won is. How
His
close he is
appearances.
appearance wise.
True, yeah.
Mm.
And then the other midfield position, you've got Gravenberg and Fabinho. Now, Fabinho that year, I remember him scoring an absolute worldie against
Yes.
Man City. But Gravenberg, I mean, again, another player that last season didn't look like he was really suited the Klopp style. But under Slot, he has birthed a incredible player there,
Mhm.
I think.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Gravenberg for me all day.
Yeah. Oh, that was very. I was
Oh,
expecting a bit more of a
Not mucking
fight
about with
there.
that one.
I mean,
Yeah.
Stu's Grays is starting to show through with this one.
Oh, this is tough.
I personally am going to go with Fabinho. I would because he was brilliant, like in the structure, like the workhorse structure that Stu mentioned earlier. Brilliant in that structure, but he did provide the goals, and he was brilliant bringing the ball forward. Once you get to the edge of the area, his distribution there was fantastic. I loved watching him play, and it's a shame we weren't there for longer. Obviously, he went to Saudi in the end, but yeah, he was a very good player. I'd go for
Yeah, he
Fabinho.
was. Yeah, no doubting that.
Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah, it's not as much as Gravenberg has been a revelation this season. It's got to be Fabinho. Like this, like literally. I think I remember an interview with Klopp once. He said called him like was he called it the hoot was it the hoot was it the hoot was it the hoot Henry Hoover or something like that because basically he just mops up everything. That's what he does.
Henry Hoover
or something like that, or some quote like that. Like he's basically like the reason. What was it? He's basically with that defensive midfield is basically like any danger, anything. He was so quick and he was so good, like reading the game. He was able to like snuff it out. Like, or if he didn't have that, I don't think we would have been as successful. But yeah, Gravenberg's been absolutely revelation this season, and I cannot wait to see what's a couple more seasons what he can do. But yeah, there's for me, it's no doubt there's been that has to be him. He is big.
Okay. Again, I think it's a bit like Szoboszlai and Ronaldo. You can't really argue which one you choose. I mean, with all of them, to be honest, with all three of them, like you could have gone like with the complete opposite of what you said, and no one would really argue it. It was really tight.
Wouldn't be too many red diabetes,
yeah. But the next one I think is a bit of a easy-ish. I'm gonna say ish.
Nah.
Hear me out when I say this. Okay.
Go on.
So I actually would say I will take this Salah over that Salah. Over the Salah in 2020, I'd take this Salah.
Yeah, that's I mean, he's having a better season than 2020, isn't he?
Yeah, much better. I think this is the best season he's ever had.
He's not as explosive as he was because obviously, he's lost maybe a yard of pace and he's 3 or 4 years older, which is, understandable. But his goals and assists return this season is just ridiculous. Like I think I said in a previous episode, he's in Ballon d'Or territory this season. He's having an exceptional season.
Yeah.
So I probably would take this season's out of it too, to be honest.
Yeah. Stu, you join us? One of us. One of us.
I mean, if you just go by numbers, it's like picking like two great seasons. But like, if you look at it by individual, I would have to agree. Like, this was it. You got to sit there and say this season, he's been unreal. Like seriously, like some of the stuff he's done is just been like. And one thing I noticed is his assists. Everyone talks about his goal record. No one talks about his assist record. Like, I think he's got like. He always gets
18.
a lot of some of that, and also some of the assists he's done this season that's be outrageous. I mean, how many times is he going to do outside the boot, kind of curled it to kind of find someone that back post? Like, I've seen it so many times. I'm like, how are you doing that? What are you doing? Like, that's so good.
Exactly.
But like, I think it was like, because obviously that was one of his 2019 with a title winning season. Obviously, the first one it's like only like 20 odd or something. Can't remember how many goals he got that season.
The goals were spread out amongst that front line, weren't they?
Yeah. And obviously this season it's just been all him. So if I was going to pick just by numbers, it has to be this season's Mo Salah.
The only thing about this season with Salah, and he has been amazing, and it'll be weird to kind of criticize a player who has been this good, But there are little pockets, little spells of maybe a few matches in a row where he will kind of disappear and not really do anything. And I mean, if you're getting a goal and assist pretty much every other game, it's kind of hard to criticize him for not doing so one match. But there are kind of small pockets. I think before the game against Tottenham, he went a long time without. I don't know the exact number. Quite a number of matches in a row. Was
Six,
it?
I think it was.
Where he wasn't contributing anything. And I mean, they've won the title, and he's going to win Player of the Season, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. He has tended to kind of disappear the odd time. But hey, he's going to win Player of the Year. So who am I?
Who am I?
I shouldn't have even said anything there. I don't know what the point of that was.
I think we can't argue. Obviously, you got either Roberto Firmino or Sadio Mane as them two, or you have Diaz and Gakpo. But I think I'll speak for all of us when we say Firmino and Mane.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah,
Which was not to say that again, I actually really like Luis Diaz as a player. I love watching him play. He's just so reliable and so great in the ball, and his pace with the dribbling is ridiculous as well. And he's got a goal in him. And Gakpo's had a great season as well. But yeah, there's nothing, you can't compare them to Mane and Firmino. They're just ridiculously good players. That front three was amazing.
Perfection. It just worked. It's so good. Like, it's just some of the goals you see if you go back in that season. That front three was just outrageous. So
it was like the famous nights at like the Etihad, for example, in the Champions League, like those sort of games where they combined, and there was so many times where all three of them, like I think it's definitely got to be either the best front three in Premier League history. If it's not them, the only other one I would argue is Ronaldo, Rooney, and Tevez.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's one of those discussions that obviously I'm going to be biased and say Liverpool one, and obviously Dave's going to say the Man United one. But
do you know another Liverpool front line that weren't bad at all, and they got a heap of goals was Sturridge, Suarez, and Sterling. The three.
Yes, of course. The best striker of all time.
What, Daniel Sturridge?
Oh no.
Yeah, Daniel Sturridge. Yeah. Yeah.
People don't realize how good he was. Like, if he was never played, it was like if he was an injury prone, I would sit there and say he'd be up there one of the great strikers. Like, but it's just that injury. But like everything changed when we got him. When we got Daniel Sturridge, everything changed.
Well, the one thing before we move on that I did actually want to talk about as well is, who do you think where do you think this Liverpool side stand amongst the Premier League winners over the years? Where do they stand, do you think? Because it's a fantastic season. They've done really well. Salah's been phenomenal. Van Dijk, brilliant. Obviously, Gravenberg, like we said. All these players have been fantastic. Is it the greatest? I'd say no.
Well, the one thing, right, is that pretty much half of the team that are in this Liverpool team won the Premier League in 2020 as well. So could it be argued that they're two-time Premier League winners, basically, that this team? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
that whole back line.
Yeah, the keeper, Salah, so forth. Some of the squad players.
The only one that didn't win it. So
first time, yeah.
So you could argue that. So this team have won 2 Premier League titles, which not a lot of other teams have done. So you have to say they'd be right up there. And with someone like Salah having as an exceptional a season as he is, and just the performances of other players as well, like Van Dijk, Alisson. Alisson's had an amazing season as well, in Europe especially. I think you'd have to say they're right up there. I don't know where specifically, but
no. Like that's the hard bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do think, I will be honest, I do think that they're some of the best. They are better than some of the City sides.
Yeah, I agree.
That have won the title, not the ones probably within the last, like they won it 4 in a row.
No, I think they're better than that Pellegrini side.
Like the Pellegrini, Mancini.
Yeah.
That Pellegrini one still hurts that. City won that.
Yeah.
I mean, that City team was just Aguero and Torre, wasn't it? And there weren't really many other big performance for them.
Was it Dzeko? Was it Dzeko was in that team? If I remember, like,
Was he still there?
yeah,
Yeah,
he top. He was top.
yeah.
I remember that because he was top
Do you remember,
scorer. Like, were they?
what was his name? The Beast, Negredo. Do you remember him? Alvaro Negredo.
Negredo.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Well done, David. A bit of
That's it.
a bit of
That's
history there. Oh, you got am I right in thinking Jesus Navas was there that season as well?
Oh, on right back, yeah, right wing, yeah, I think he was.
Yes, he was
He
there
had
that
the
season
bluest
as well.
eyes. Oh, I didn't say that.
Stu's like, stop saying these players. Stop it now.
Stop reminding me of that, torment that was that season.
Yeah, but that was a bang average team. A couple of players aside, that was a
Yeah.
bang average team that won the league. Yeah,
Yeah.
so Liverpool
think-
are definitely better than them.
Yeah, I would even, like, as much as I don't like to say it, I would even say they're probably better than the Chelsea side that won the title under Mourinho in 2015.
I loved that team though.
I-
That was a
I
really good
thought
team. They were
Fabregas,
boring.
Hazard, and Costa were phenomenal.
Yeah,
And I would easily say that they would get into this Liverpool side. Maybe you'd argue Salah or Hazard, but that's for another time. But
they were a bit boring.
but the rest of the team, it wasn't amazing. I don't think.
No.
I don't think it was
Who
blew your
else was it?
everything away.
Was that the
Oh,
year?
yeah,
Was that
Courtois.
the one where in the summer where he bought was it Courtois, Fabregas, and
Yeah,
Costa? He
yeah.
just those three players just won them the league basically. Just that
That's
they
it,
just
yeah.
they brought in a brand new spine and that was that, and Hazard.
That's it. Yeah, and he brought
but
Drogba back as well.
That's
that year.
right. Yeah.
he
Was
brought
that the
Drogba
same
back.
year? No, was Eto? Did Eto come back? Did Eto go
No,
there the year after? Or was
No,
I can't
Eto
remember.
was the year before.
Year before. Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was the year before.
But
But-
no, I'd definitely say this Liverpool team are better than,
Yeah.
well, more exciting to watch than that
Yeah.
team, perhaps.
But I mean, obviously you've got the greatest, which they like. I wouldn't even. They don't even touch them. Obviously you got what's it? The Chelsea side of 2005 that only conceded 15 goals.
Yeah,
The Invincibles.
Yeah.
The Centurions in Man City.
Mhm.
The treble winners, Man City, not so long ago, like the domestic
Yeah.
treble and the actual treble, and also the Man United that won the treble as well.
Yeah.
Like all those ones, they're miles ahead. But yeah, this Liverpool side, I definitely think very good.
Yeah. Do you reckon they're better? Who do you think have been more fun to watch, Liverpool or Leicester when they won the league?
Leicester.
As in
Leicester.
purely, I don't mean just the enjoyment of watching them win the league.
Playing style.
I mean
right?
just a purely playing style. Yeah, because they were great to watch as well. But I don't know. They were.
I would still say Leicester.
Yeah.
Purely because I understand, like you say, there about the enjoyment factor,
Mm.
because obviously it was a team that, a bit like Nottingham Forest, that shouldn't be up there, but they are up there.
Yeah, and they stayed up there, and yeah.
But the reason I say is because no one expected what some of those players were going to do. Like Riyad Mahrez was unbelievable that year.
So
like
good.
he probably had as good of a season as some of the best players in Premier League history have had that year.
Yeah,
like
totally.
it was so good. Obviously Vardy had those 11 goal games in a row where he scored
in a row. Yeah.
But Wes Morgan was a beast in defence that year. Like as good as probably.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like as good as Konate has been this year.
Yeah, completely.
I argue Schmeichel was brilliant in goal for him. Like it was a very good side. I go for Leicester, but my heart is also saying that as well, because I can't hate that.
Yeah, I would definitely say Leicester, and that's not an anti. It was the most incredible season watching them not slip up and actually go on and win the thing. It was great.
Stu's like get you the
yeah. Liverpool won the league. Yeah, that's yesterday's news, mate. Who cares?
To be fair to the guys, it's basically it's Chelsea's fault anyway, because they beat Tottenham to help them win it, didn't they?
Right. Yes, and the best player won it with Eden Hazard. He won it.
Hazard, yeah, Costa assist. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yes, that's right.
That was a great goal.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I think that's a fair argument. But yeah, no, I'd go with Leicester. I would. But in terms of like, that's probably they're in that mark. I would say they're in that bracket. But obviously, biggest story is got to be Leicester. But saying about Leicester, obviously we had the news this week about Jamie Vardy leaving Leicester City this week.
Yeah.
That's so it's a shame to see him leave, but he's leaving with I think he's 14th highest all-time Premier League goal scorer. He has outscored the likes of Ian Wright, Ronaldo, Drogba, Anelka, Sadio Mane. Yeah, and there are a lot of other names in there as well. Dion Dublin being another one as well. He was
How many did he get in total? It was a lot anyway. Yeah.
143, I believe.
Oh wow.
Is he on like 100? He's on 190 odds, isn't he? Like Leicester goals overall.
Oh, I thought you meant 90 years old. I was like, he ain't that old, Stu.
Well, the way he talks about it, he wants to play forever. So, but was it? He's like, I remember watching. I think it was Soccer Saturday, and they were talking about like he had that. Was it last game or the weekend? He had like a penalty, and he could have like been 199 or 98. So he's like a couple away from the 200 for Leicester, I think. But he sadly missed that penalty. So, but hopefully he can get those couple of goals before. Unlikely with that Leicester side, but you can always hope.
Yeah,
you can.
Yeah, it's sad to see him go. I love him as a player. He's great. He was just so fun. It's particularly during that 15-16 season when they won the league. I think as well as the stats there, another one is that he scored more goals after the age of 30 than any other player.
Yes,
which is another one as well. So he's like a
over
fine
100,
wine.
didn't he?
Yeah. So he's just great to watch. I loved him, and I love the way he gives a bit when the fans are giving him stick, he gives it right back. I love it. I love those types of players. They're not afraid to give it back, and things that kind of some goals of his that kind of stand out in my memory are one in particular. Do you remember, Stu, when they played Liverpool during that Leicester winning season? Do you remember? I'm not just saying this, but that goal from Vardy, the volley outside the box, that was one of the most incredible goals and one of the really vivid highlights of that season, I think.
I mean, half volley. What was
unbelievable goal. I think just booted up from Kasper Schmeichel and he just leathers it. And do you remember Vardy's debut for England, which I think was against Germany, if I'm not mistaken, where he does that, the ball comes in and he does that kind of inside flick with his foot. Seek it out on YouTube. I can't quite describe it, but he does one of those where he flicks it inside his other leg to send it into the goal. And it was his first goal for England as well. But he's had an amazing career. And it'd be interesting to see where he goes.
I actually would go as far as to say that I think he's had a better career than Ian Wright. I would.
Ooh.
I think that if he played for a better club, like if he played for Arsenal,
and if he could have gone to Arsenal, they wanted him.
Yeah, exactly. If he went to one of those clubs,
I'm so glad he didn't.
I think we would be talking about him.
He certainly could have helped. He certainly could have had more
service, meaning we got goals.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But what was the other stat I did see, and this for me is the most impressive. Obviously, you say there about the amount of goals he scored after 30. He also won the Golden Boot after reaching 30.
Yeah, the 1920 season, I think. I think that was one of my quiz questions, actually. That's right.
Okay. Save answer.
But, no, yeah, quite right. It's like he's just gotten better. Brilliant player.
Where do you think where does he rank for you? Like, is he up there with with the best, or is he like, would you say the perfect mid-table player?
Well, look, he's not up there with your Henrys, your Rooneys, your Shearers. He's not on that level. But I think you could possibly with a Premier League win, an FA Cup win as well, and some Champions League. He got to a Champions League quarter-final as well with that team. So European appearances. I don't know. You'd put him. You could arguably put him above Suarez because Suarez didn't win the league. I think it all comes down to Premier League wins. Think of all the great strikers there have been in the Premier League that have never won the league. I think you have to automatically put him above those types of players.
Shots fired there. Shots fired.
But do you know what? I do agree with you because Suarez, like everyone knows my opinion. Suarez, like I've got his face.
No, but Suarez was amazing. He was an amazing player.
But Premier League.
But I think it comes down to Premier League. It comes down to those trophies in the end.
Like in terms of individual season, if you said one individual season, Suarez wins because he had that amazing season when he nearly won the title.
Yeah.
But if you're talking in terms of impact in the Premier League, Vardy every day. every day, Vardy. And yeah, he had a better career than Suarez in the Premier League for sure. But
you have to say.
yeah, no, it is a shame to see him go. But there's talk about him maybe going Wrexham. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, because Wrexham in the Championship now, aren't they?
They
Yeah.
are.
He wouldn't be
Come
dropping
on,
too far down.
come on.
Free from motors on the bounce. It's like a
Yeah.
record, I think. I think I heard something that he wants to stay in the Premier League. Like he does, he thinks he still can do a job in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So the question is,
Who would take him?
A squad player for somewhere like Palace or something like that.
Oh, don't go Palace.
it probably got to. It
I
probably got
just
somewhere,
pulled that name out. I don't know. He could.
it probably go to someone like Leeds or something. It probably go to someone like
Maybe
Leeds.
one of the promoted teams. Yeah, perhaps.
Oh no. Actually, no. Leeds is perfect for him. That just sounds like the sort of club he'd end up at, innit? That just
Oh
sounds
yeah,
so.
Leeds fans would love him. I think that would be a perfect fit for him.
He wouldn't end up at Burnley. Burnley's too, like, it doesn't sound like a sort of club he'd go to.
Too
Where's he
dull for
got
him.
Burnley?
Well, it's more defensive, isn't it? They're kind of like, was it? They're talking about 15 goals conceded in the season. They've done that in the Championship, so it's so it's more like defensive. Yeah, I just think because obviously the attitude of Leeds and obviously everyone kind of the usual. Everyone hates us anyway, so why do we care? And I kind of see that. I can see Vardy getting
They're a club of just cheeky chappies. He's the ultimate cheeky chappie, isn't he? And that's what Leeds feel like as a club. So that probably would be a good fit.
That's it. Well, I mean, obviously there was a big weekend of action still, of course. Obviously, Ipswich has now gone down this weekend, meaning that all the teams that come up have gone straight back down. And it's the first time in Premier League history that is happening consecutive seasons. I mean, obviously we spoke about this in other episodes that the quality, the gap between the Championship and the Premier League is getting bigger. Is it a cause for concern, or do we just think that this is a blip?
When it was first pointed out that it was very likely the three promoted teams from this season could go down again, and that would mean 2 seasons in a row. At first, my thought was, oh dear, yeah, that does mean, is there a disparity in quality between the two? Is that growing bigger and bigger? But the more it's kind of droned on, and the more I hear about it, the less I care, to be honest. It's really not something that concerns me too much at all. It doesn't keep me up at night. It's not one of those things. I get it. Look, I get it. If that continues to happen, then the sort of the quality of the performances and the competition it wouldn't quite be there for the teams that come up. I totally get that. But I don't think for me it's something that warrants lengthy conversations about, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's interesting looking at the last few seasons and seeing that sort of stat being associated with it. But when you see teams like Burnley, like Stu said there, that just conceded 15 goals this season in the Championship, and then you've also got Leeds who have bounced back into the Premier League as well. They're two teams that you think, do you know what? I do think Burnley are going to be a team that would stay up next season.
Possibly,
especially with the experience Scott Parker has.
Scott Parker, yeah, Premier League experience, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it's an interesting thing for you. I remember seeing something about Leeds, so you might want to think. I saw rumours that they're going to, because of his record in the Premier League, they might sack, was it Farkle, like their manager?
I've seen this, yes.
Well, what are you guys thinking of that? Like, do you think, because obviously some people have logically said it might be like good things. It's like he's a good Championship manager, but obviously his record in the Premier League's not exactly great. I think he's got like 20 points or something over the couple of seasons, I think.
I think it's a unfair dismissal. I really do. I think that when a manager gets you into the big time, they deserve a shot. I mean, it was a bit like oh God, what was his name? Like Enzo Maresca when he got Leicester up to the Premier League. To be honest, he was the last manager I thought we should have had at Chelsea. And to be honest, I would have said no, stay at Leicester. You've got them up. See what you can do.
See what you can do. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you've earned the right to be manager of that team. It's a bit like when they bring players you get the crop of players that bring them up from the Championship, and then the owner goes and signs a load of experienced Premier League players, and then after that team's gone, because it's like, well, hang on a minute, we got you here, why are we playing?
Yeah, it just shows that I was like just the panic, or just the desperate need for these clubs to want to stay in the Premier League and to get that money. You know.
Yeah, the financial backing, like once you
Yeah,
stay in
yeah.
the Premier League, is insane. I mean, like
Hmm.
probably teams like Brighton, Bournemouth, and probably another one you could put in there is um, probably I'm just trying to think of someone who come up in the last few years and like stayed for a little bit
Well,
now.
Palace came
Palace,
up
yeah,
in 2013, 2012, I think.
yeah,
And they've remained a steady mid-table club,
yeah.
and who gotten a couple of scalps along the way, in the FA Cup final, of course. So a team
Oh
like that
yes,
that
of
come up and
course,
stay
yeah.
up, really,
Mm.
really good.
Well, obviously, like you just said there, David. Obviously, you got the FA Cup final as well. That's another big trophy now coming for either Man City or Palace.
Mm.
Please, I beg you, I beg you, Palace. I really
Everyone in the
don't
world
care
wants
that much
Palace to
about
win
you.
that.
But if there's one favour I can ask, is please don't let this Man City side who've been awful this season
It's
win
not.
a trophy.
It's not
Please.
fair. It's not fair. Like, how is it they can have a terrible kind of season and like
Yeah.
the way they played, and then they could get like, was
In,
it Champions League football and a trophy? When we
yeah,
had our bad season, we got no
yeah.
trophy. And fifth. It's not fair.
That's
They
it's just
need to
pep,
have the
mate. That's just pep.
consequences of being
The
bad.
pep factor. Yeah. Well, in fairness to City, they have had a strong end to the season in the league. Anyway,
No,
uh,
no, no, no. They've
I,
had their
I'm
chance.
not. We're
No,
not giving.
don't you start
Okay,
backing them.
okay, okay, okay. Yeah. No, yeah. City have been shit, and they don't deserve to win the FA Cup at all. Yeah, quite right. I'm sorry I even went there.
But I do agree with what you're saying there. Like
Yeah,
they have been strong towards the end of the
yeah.
season. But City have won enough. They've won enough.
I know. Yeah.
It's it's
But
it's
yeah,
Like
it's,
look,
it's,
you
it's,
don't sleepwalk into an FA Cup final. Yeah, they've done enough
uh,
to get there, I suppose.
yeah,
I guess.
yeah,
it's we'll put it like this, like when everyone was talking about when Newcastle beat us in the final, it's like you win the Premier League, just let them have it. Like this,
yeah,
they said you've won 4 in a row in the Premier League, you've won multiple
Yeah.
trophies. Just
Champions
let Palace
League.
have that one time
I
they
would
can win a
love for
trophy.
Palace. I mean, obviously, yeah, everyone
Oh,
would, but that'd be great to cap off
exactly.
an amazing season for them. And I really like Glasner, the manager. He seems like not just a good manager, but he seems like a decent bloke as well. I think he'd be the first Austrian to win the FA Cup as well.
yeah, that's true.
But yeah,
But do you think it's amazing to think that this is the same Palace side that I think maybe a month or two into the season looked
oh, they looked
down and out.
overpowered.
They
Yeah.
looked down and out. It looked like Glasner was going to get the sack.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, they had this upturning form. Mateta started playing really well. Same with Eze. What was it? Oh, God, what's the midfielder's name? It gets in
Uh,
England's squad. Oh, he just.
uh, Gay? No, not Gay.
No, Gay obviously been good as well. Midfielder. Got in the England squad for the Euros.
It's not the one that Liverpool were rumoured for when we had defensive midfield, was it? Midfield. I can't remember his name. It begins with D.
No, W.
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 Oh, yeah, he
Oh,
lost me
it's the
there.
I
midfielder.
think of it.
Oh, come on.
I'd say none of us can get it.
Wharton. No, I'm not saying.
Oh,
You know the one I mean, don't you?
Adam someone, right?
Yes, Adam.
Adam Wharton? Is that Wharton?
Oh my God.
Is that Adam Wharton?
Oh, might be Water.
Is that
I'm
it?
not sure.
I don't know. I know what we're talking about. Yeah, because
I've no
obviously it's like
idea.
Yeah. You
I know
know
what we're
the one I
talking about.
mean
Let's
now.
just say we're on the same page on that one. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he's been. I'm
I
surprised
should
no
have
one
done charades with that one, shouldn't I?
yeah, like
2
yeah.
appearances.
But yeah, but he's been good to be fair. Like I have to admit, I was with going into obviously the Euros. I was quite impressed by how good, like good on the ball he is. And is he played? I think he's played a lot this season. I don't think he's been injured or anything like that, has he?
Yeah.
Who,
No,
Wharton?
he's been consistent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wharton, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Wharton.
got there in the
I
we
think
got
it's
there in
Adam
the end.
Wharton.
We got there in the end. He looked it up, didn't he? He was just like
Yeah,
quickly like, I've got there
I'm on
this
the
much.
fantasy league page here looking at
There
his
you go.
Wow.
looking at his stuff. But yeah, no, yeah, Palace obviously. I love when teams stick with their manager and that the panic of like I always find it funny when teams do that thing of getting the third manager in of the season. You just like but they're getting relegated if they're getting a third
Yes.
bloke in,
Yes.
But so I like
Exactly.
when teams stick with their manager and see out the season, whatever let the chips fall where they may, kind of thing. And it turned out well because they've been doing extremely well and they're in the final, so
Yeah.
good for them.
What was I going to say? well, the other team, like I think it's an example of sticking with your manager as well, is the Bournemouth manager.
Yeah.
Like because I remember last season he had a similar start to what Palace did this year, where they were awful, and then they had this upturn in form. And look at the Bournemouth side now; they could be. I think I've read the stat. If they go past the 50-point mark, they'll be the 40th side to do it in Premier League history.
All right.
Like, and I know there's a lot of sides to do it, but to be even involved in that group for a Bournemouth side is a huge upturn in form. Like that is just brilliant to see for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the fact that they sold their big man up front, Solanke, in the summer, thought, well, that could spell the end for them in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But no, they've done extremely well, and every chance in the world they could finish in the top 10.
Exactly. No, that is true. Yeah. I mean, soon enough around the corner, we will be doing our Premier League 11 for the season.
Ah, yes.
I'm pretty sure there'll be one or two players who will definitely be like matching on, but there will be some debate going on. That is for sure. I can guarantee
Can
that.
I just say really quickly, actually, just speaking of Solanke, just a word on Tottenham, because obviously all the media and all the hype was about Liverpool yesterday winning the league. But do you reckon if that was the match that won Liverpool the league, Ange Postecoglou would be getting absolutely slaughtered right
Yes.
now?
Yeah.
Now I know, obviously, similar to United, the league is basically done and it's dead and buried. It's all about Europe now. But another damaging defeat. 5-1 away. I mean, that's a hammering. I feel like he kind of got away with that. I think he was slightly happy, perhaps, that all the attention was on Liverpool winning the league as opposed to his side suffering yet another huge loss.
No coverage from Tottenham. I watched the whole thing after when we won it to the end.
Yeah.
Didn't even mention Tottenham once. To be fair, with a performance like that,
and Andrew, I'd say, he was absolutely delighted with that. Like, fantastic. Enjoy your league, lads. Yeah, don't ask me any questions. All right, all the best.
The thing is, though, is that they're putting so much, like they're putting all their eggs in one basket, which, for Ange's sake, he has to. In the Europa League, they have to do well in the semi-finals, and I'll be honest, I think that if they go out of the out at the semi-final stage, even though not much of the season is left, I would not be surprised if Daniel Levy sacks him.
Yeah, 100%. I said in a previous episode that it was a bit of a strong take, but I think I said that even if Spurs win the Europa League, I still think they'd sack Ange in the summer. And at the time, you guys were like, "Oh, I don't know." And I thought, well, yeah, maybe that's a bit strong. As time goes on, the more convinced I am that is a major possibility. Just with how bad that they've just completely given up in the league, and there's nothing there to suggest there will be any progress next season. I know signings, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
But Europa League win, great. Back in the Champions League, great. But I don't know, this league form. It's very possible Tottenham could finish 17th in the league. I mean, that's amazing. Basically, the worst of the. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and like there's relegated sides that have had a better points tally than them.
Yeah,
that is like
they've been so bad. I mean, I think it's 19. Yeah, it is 19 losses in the Premier League this season. That's only two fewer than Ipswich. They've had it. It's been terrible for them. You've heard it here. Well, you heard it before on a but I'm going to say it again. Even if Spurs win the league, which is a fat chance anyway, they're still going to sack Ange in the summer.
He means Europa League. The Europa League.
Yeah, that's why I heard.
Sorry, what did I say?
Win the league.
Oh, the league, Europa League, of course. Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say that.
No, I can see it happening, but I do hope for Ange's sake that if he won the Europa League, that they would say like, right, hang on a minute, he has just won us a trophy. But then there is enough of an argument to go, yeah, but we're 17th. So I do understand both sides of the argument there.
I think he wants to leave as well.
Yeah, me too. I think he's had it. I think he's had it with the press.
Yeah,
some of those really prickly interviews where he really doesn't like the questions he's being asked.
Yeah,
and you sense he just really wants to tell them something he wouldn't be able to say on air. But I think he's had it.
For me, as a Chelsea fan, I am more than happy for him to stay at Spurs. I want to get a ball and chain, wrap him around that chair in that dugout, and keep
Well,
him there.
Oh, it's
giving them
hilarious
10
to watch. I mean, I think I'd love for him. I'd love for Rams to stay there. It'd be brilliant. Take some of the heat off United's terrible season as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
stay there
know.
for Emerald, please.
You got a point. Weekend.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I've got a question for you guys. Very quick one. Who was the manager when Spurs actually won their last trophy?
Oh, 2008, wasn't it? So that would have
Yes.
been the League Cup. Who was manager at Tottenham in 2008? Was that Harry Redknapp?
Martin Joe.
No and no.
Oh,
I
it's
don't know.
something called a Spanish manager, right?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
dude.
it's,
Go on. Is he going to put
is
out the bag here?
it
Oh, I don't know
Ramon?
his
I
name.
can't remember how to pronounce his name, but it's what?
I loved his name because it was like it was a nice, cool name. I thought.
Yeah, I remember that one because it was obviously I thought it was the Carab was it whatever Carling Cup what it's called back then. It's the ironically beat
I
you
think it was
guys. Didn't it?
Carling Cup back then. Yeah.
Yeah, so beat you
Oh,
guys
okay.
2-1. If I remember.
Yeah.
No, I think it was just 1-0. I don't think we scored. I
Ah,
don't think we scored in the final.
sure.
No,
I mean,
we didn't.
I
What
remember.
was your man's name? I can't think of.
Bob, our manager.
No,
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 the
no.
top-
The fella's man, Tottenham's manager.
Do you,
From T-
you don't think you're gonna get it?
No clue.
No, I
yeah.
mean, I know, I know what it is, but I just can't pronounce it. So it's like it's against Romari.
Juande Ramos.
Ramos, that's it.
Yes,
Yeah.
Juande Ramos. Because I always remember this. He won the League Cup. They and obviously he was manager the next season, and they were so poor at the start of the season. I always remember seeing memes going around saying a triangle has got more points than Spurs have after 9 games. I kept seeing it, and I always remember it. I don't know why.
It's good.
But they, another one for you then. Who was the scorer in that final?
Defoe.
I'm thinking Keane. I'm thinking
You think
Robbie.
Keane?
Yeah.
Keane, yeah. Jonathan
Defoe.
Woodgate.
Woodgate.
Jonathan
Jesus.
Woodgate.
Wow.
Yeah.
What the Jonathan Woodgate that was it on his Real Madrid debut got sent off, scored on goal, and
Yeah.
got sent off. That Jonathan Woodgate.
Yeah, that's Jonathan Woodgate, the legend.
Jesus.
The man.
When did Spurs actually last win the league? Was it like the 60s when they last won the league?
The last time they won the league was 1961 because they
Was it?
won the double. They were the first team to do it as well.
Yeah. You hear
The
about that
FA
as well.
Cup and not Premier League, sorry, the Stone Age league title.
Oh, do you mean the Division 1 they never talk about ever? No.
Yeah, because apparently
Yeah.
before 1990 nothing ever happened.
Is that the longest barren period?
It is
for
out
league
of a
wins
top
for a
6
team that
side.
purports to be one of the biggest teams in the country, kind of thing across Europe. It has to be.
It is. Liverpool have the shortest in 0.
Well, 2 days. A day where
no, I think Spurs have the longest, and I think it's Arsenal after that. It's Arsenal.
In terms of league wins now, obviously. Yeah.
I think I've seen that graphic. It's like someone's done a graphic of all like how many days, and I think it's a Premier League. It was like 700 something odd, like we're to foul like a long time. Like we're talking about. It's quite funny when you look at it. The barren one they've had.
Well, I think we'll leave it there for this week then, lads. I think obviously we've got a big week of Champions League football ahead, and obviously we will look back on that in our next episode. Big night for Arsenal tomorrow night. So obviously fingers crossed for them. I might hate Arsenal, but I do like seeing the English sides do well in the tournament. I do like seeing that. Bar United.
Yeah, that's
I will not quote Will from In Betweeners, but it's like that.
Well, I can probably, I don't mind Arsenal, but there's no way I would ever support either Man United or Chelsea in the Europe. I'm sorry. Cannot be done. Are you telling me if
I had to say that Liverpool won the title at the beginning of this?
Yeah, but are you guys telling me that basically, like, if Liverpool would do well, you like as a Man United and Chelsea fan, you would go, oh yeah, I want them to do well. Like,
yes.
Oh dear, he's full of beans, isn't he? Liverpool win the league, and he starts throwing his weight around.
I'm not lying to you.
Thinking he's a big man.
Oh come on. I never get a chance to be this arrogant, am I? Because usually it's always something against people.
Enjoy it. Wrap it up.
No, that is true. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Fair.
Right. Well, goodbye, everyone. And we'll see you for next week's episode. All right.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you later.